Hello, beautiful and exotic women of the world. Today, I want to discuss why weak men feel intimidated by your beauty and also feel rejected before even speaking to you. Now, you may wonder why when you go out in public, let's say you're at a restaurant, at the mall, maybe you are in public transportation, you're at work minding your business, whatever the case may be, you're around men. And this certain archetype of man tends to behave very oddly around you. He tends to be fidgety. He can't hold eye contact with you. He looks annoyed with you, but at the same time intrigued. It's really weird. So a lot of times they'll have like this really hard exterior when they come around you. They're not really welcoming, but at the same time, they're curious. And at the same time, they're staring. This is because he feels rejected by you sexually. He is attracted to you sexually, but because he has a feeling deep down that he's maybe not your type, or that he is not good enough for you, or that he's lacking in some way, he will outwardly show that by behaving weirdly. And we see this happen with insecure women, and it's the same thing with insecure men. Only thing is, men aren't as nasty with their vitriol as some women can be, so the nuance is a little different. A lot of men, a lot of times when they're threatened by you, but also sexually attracted to you, they will kind of stay silent, but their behaviors will kind of show how uncomfortable they are and how conflicted they are. So I'm going to break it down to you as to why your beauty causes these types of interactions and these types of reactions from these men. So you have to understand that when a man first sees a woman that he's attracted to, there's a lot of things that are going through his mind. He's wondering what you're like, what you're into, if he's good enough, does he smell good, does he look good, etc. And when he realizes that you may be out of his league, when he realizes that he may not have the provisions to attract you, when he realizes that he may not be attractive to you, he will self-sabotage by being mean to you. And a lot of times this will show up as blatantly turning his back on you in public to make you feel unseen. If you're in a public setting where, there's other women around you and he's greeting the women around you, he'll purposely avoid saying hello to you, greeting you, giving you eye contact, shaking your hand, common human decency. He'll avoid doing that because he wants to send a message that, oh, you thought you were going to reject me, I'm rejecting you first. When in reality, that's so silly because who was even thinking about that? We're all just here at this social event, and the common polite thing to do is to say hello to everyone, and you blatantly choosing not to say hello to me lets me know that you're pressed and bothered. So it really doesn't have the effect they think it does, and is actually quite hilarious when it happens. So they'll do things like that. They'll act like they don't see you. And then they'll also just kind of have this like cold disposition toward you. So this has happened to me a lot when I'm shopping, and I may ask someone for directions if I'm like in the mall, or if I'm in a store and I need to know where a certain area is so that I can go get my items. I'll ask, the clerk, or I'll ask someone who's working the floors, hey, where is X, Y, and Z? And what men like this will do is they will look me up and down, they'll kind of peep me out while I'm asking the question. And then once they kind of decide in their minds that I'm out of their league, or that I don't find them attractive, or that I'm too beautiful for them, the attitude and their facial expressions will just show everything. So they'll kind of answer me shortly. He'll try to give me like a really short answer and try to look away, like act like he's not really interested, or act like he's not really checking for me. And it just lets me know that you are sexually attracted to me. You find me attractive, but because you are insecure and because you're letting your insecurities win, you're going to give me terrible customer service. You're not going to be nice to me. You're going to find a way to be dismissive toward me just because you feel less than and you feel intimidated. And I don't think that's right, because as grown adults, we have to be in control of our emotions and how we feel. And just because you perceive a woman to be out of your league does not mean that you deserve to mistreat her or be rude to her or nasty to her based off of your own preconceived notions or feelings. Another sign of odd behaviors from weak men who feel rejected by you are the men that love staring at you. I experience this very often at the gym, pretty much everywhere I go. It never fails that there's like one or two or multiple men who will not stop staring at me. And it gets to the point where I'll give them a nasty look to signal to them, hey, stop staring. And they literally will not stop staring. And it's because they are trying to see if I'm interested or if their preconceived notions or what they have kind of made up in their mind about me is true. So they're going to stare, they're going to size me up, they're going to watch because they want to see if what they've created in their minds is true about me. Which is silly because staring at me for long periods of time doesn't prove anything. Like, it literally doesn't prove anything. If anything, it just proves how bold you are for being rude and staring at someone when they can literally come over to you and smack the shit out of you for staring at them. So, if anything, it just proves how strange you are. But I think for them, it's a mixture of a couple of things. But what I know to be a fact is that they definitely stare because they're trying to figure you out. They're trying to put the pieces together. And they're also trying to see if by them staring at you, will you kind of have an inclination to say hi to them or approach them first? And baby, that would never happen, okay? That would never happen in a million years. No beautiful woman that I know has ever gone out of her way to hit on a guy or to approach a man after he's staring at them, you know? If anything, I think it's creepy, and I think we're kind of turned off by excessive staring, especially if you're not going to say anything. I think it's different if a man stares in an endearing way and, you know, smiles or says hi or uses the staring as a segue to come up to you and introduce himself and, you know, try to run some game. I don't know. But if you're just staring at me in a creepy, weird way, it's only telling me that you are a weirdo, because not only are you not reading social cues that I'm uncomfortable by you staring at me, you're also probably undressing me with your eyes. You're trying to weigh your options and see if I'm going to give you a chance or not. It's a bunch of different things that are going through their minds when they're staring at you. It's not just, oh my God, she's so hot. It's, do I have a chance? I wonder what her type is. Will she hit on me if I keep staring at her? Will she flirt back? Like, it's a bunch of different things that they do that are very odd when they are sexually attracted to you, but unsure if you want them. And a lot of men will take you not responding well to their staring as rejection, instead of realizing that, dude, you can't just stare at me. You can't just sit here and watch me like a creep. Either take the opportunity and come talk to me if you're attractive, or not. And more oftentimes than not, the men that stare in very inappropriate ways are the unattractive ones. They're the ones that wish they could have a chance with you, ladies. And I just have a serious issue with the men that like to make women uncomfortable, because as women, we want to be able to go to the gym. We want to be able to go shopping. We want to be able to go anywhere and feel like we don't have to look over our shoulder for some weird man who has created this fantasy in his head by just looking at you. And then because you don't give him the fantasy response that he's desiring or the fantasy reaction that he's created in his mind because he's dwelling on you, suddenly you're public enemy number one, and now he doesn't know how to serve you at the restaurant properly because he's hurt. Or suddenly when you ask for directions, he's giving you a rude answer, or he's short with you, or, you know, he's being nasty, or they're being creepy and staring you down to make you feel uncomfortable on purpose. You know, it's always something with these types of men, and then they wonder why they're not winning when it comes to women, or they're not finding success with relationships. And if only they knew that if they just found the positive qualities within themselves, like I talk about with insecure women who target exotical women, you know, they would not interact with us the way they do. But I just want to encourage you, ladies, to keep your eyes out for these types of men. You know, the men who are nasty to you for no reason, and you're kind of just like, whoa, I just asked where the bathroom was. You know what I mean? It's because they are feeling sexually rejected by you before you even said anything. Before you even said anything and you were walking up to that man, he sized you up and immediately put in his head that he could not even fathom taking you on a date or, you know, trying to spit some game. Like, it is hard for them to fathom these things, so they take it out on you because it frustrates them. I just want to encourage you all to not feel pressure to appease these types of men. Their insecurities are their business. That is a them problem, and it's your job to just keep your head on a swivel. Remember that their ill treatments of you has nothing to do with you and everything to do with them. And just to remember that with beauty comes learning that some people will really not like you, including men, because of how you look, and will be intimidated by how you look, and will feel inadequate because of how you look. So ladies, drop down in the comment section. Let me know if you've ever experienced this. I'm really curious to hear your thoughts. I'll also be leaving my email in the description box. You can share your stories with me there as well. Have a lovely day, ladies.